Hello everybody, this is ZvT back with another point of view cast. This time I'll be casting a game between myself, spawning as the red Zerg, and Esturlizzuma, spawning down here as the blue Terran. I actually played this game shortly after watching, I think it was Sen play a few games. So I was not going for my usual 14-14, I actually went for a 14 pool, 14 hatch, just because I've been trying to work on something a little bit more economical than the 14-14, but not going hatch first, just because I don't go hatch first because I don't feel it's worth it. When it works out, you do get an economic lead, but if it doesn't work, you either can fall really far behind, or you can actually just get bunker rushed, cannon rushed, or proxied, anything like that, and just straight lose the game. So I feel this is a bit safer because you do get that pool first. And link speed hasn't been super vital because typically I get the link speed, I get the Xel'Naga towers, and then they don't come out of their base for quite a while. So I'm throwing down that gas now. I still do need to get link speed. I did see 1 Rax, 1 gas, so at this moment I am thinking that he's going Hellions. And I think I actually, because I'm not used to opening like this, I kind of threw off my timing, so yeah, so just chasing back his SCV, wasn't able to catch it. I'm still not even sure if this is actually more economical, just because like you do get that hatch first sooner, but if aggression comes, you're going to need to make a lot more Zerglings to hold it off, so I'm not exactly sure how that balances out. So like I said, I was expecting Hellions because I saw 1 Rax, 1 gas, probably going to be a reactor going right there. So throwing down that Roach Warren and going to poke, seeing 5 Marines. So I know there's no, and there's the Hellion. I know that there's no reactor. Off of 1 Rax into factory, he can't produce that many Marines if he stops to make the reactor, because the reactor does take quite a long time to build. So immediately I'm just going to evacuate my drones. A little bit of a misclick there, I actually selected all my drones. And I believe I am making a 1 Roach right now. He did catch me supply block. But as you can see, by evacuating everything from the natural, I'm not going to lose any drones. I was getting a 3rd Queen just because I hadn't had a chance to take a look down there. I have no idea if he is expanding or if he's going Banshees, and I really hate losing to just 1 or 2 Banshees, so making sure that I get that extra Queen out. Also, if he doesn't come with the Banshees, then I'm good to go for creep spread anyways. So as you can see, I'm going right back to droning. My link speed is just about to finish, and I still haven't made a ton of units to defend myself. I made a couple Zerglings and I think 1 Roach. There he is. So looking at the income tab, I'm doing quite well, slightly ahead of him. Banshee still haven't come, so I am assuming that he did expand. And I did still only make 1 set of Lings, and I'm gonna go see exactly what he's doing. Getting that Baneliness as well, just because I still don't know if maybe he switched through a tech lab down and is going for a Marine tank, or he could be going pure mech. Just gonna need that Baneling Nest in case he is going for a lot of Marines. So I'm gonna see again this small group push out, which was kind of annoying me because as you can see, I'm just making lots of drones right now. Getting my tech, getting my drones, getting my creep spread going, but staying alive with basically no units. So he's gonna get a scan off, and lately I've been playing a really late Muta style against Terran, just because rushing Mutas and then getting denied by a few turrets sets you really far behind. It becomes really difficult to stop Marine tank, and Terrans pretty much can feel when they need to put down the turrets. So very rarely do I ever get into a base before the turrets are up, and even then there's still Marines around, so nothing like being unprepared for a Banshee. So gonna get immediately my Roach and Baneling speed. This is my alternative. If the Marine tank push comes, this will allow you to crush it, and as you can see, preparing that army. If it doesn't come, then it allows you to get aggressive. I've played quite a few games where people have problems or even I've had problems with medevac drops. Now, going for a heavy roach ling timing push, even though roaches aren't great against marines, if they rush to medevacs, it means they're not going to have a lot of tanks, and that's going to let your baneling roach do insane amounts of damage. So I know he's expanded. I saw a tank, seeing a decent number of marines, so I'm assuming he's not going mech, and taking my third as well. Still just massing up army and continuing to get my creep spread going. Now you're going to see a little bit later in this game how important creep spread is. I'm just seeing a couple of units there. Not only for the speed bonus, but also for vision of incoming attacks, and also very important for vision of attacks as they happen. Terran positions get very, very strong once they siege up. If you have no creep, they can build turrets, they can build bunkers, and their pushes get pretty ridiculously strong. So I just took a look to see if he had a third. I didn't see it, but the tank being all the way out here pretty much tells me he must be taking his third. So I'm really trying to get my creep spread all the way because he's being really persistent taking this tower. And I don't want to show my army just yet. I probably should have sent a roach or something over there. Did send my speedlings over now. Okay, so as you can see, I have started my third, or my third actually just finishing, and I still haven't started a Spire, and that's because when I make mutas, I want to be able to make a really good number of them all at once without leaving myself vulnerable. So if he would have came to attack me, I would have been good to defend with this. And looking back at the income tab, he's actually ahead of me right now because I've been massing army for like the last couple of minutes. But I am ready with my third hatch in. This is going to keep him in his base for a little while and really allow me to drone up getting a spine crawler, just because I moved out my army and it's only one drone, so not too big of an investment, and it will help a lot in ZvT to have a random spine crawler here or there, because marine drops, one medevac worth will do so much damage. And my fourth base is going to be placed over here, and that's because, not because it's easier for me to defend. I spread my expansions because it makes it harder for a Terran to attack. So I did make a lot of banelings, I got a lot of roaches, I'm ready to move in here. And actually walking right up to that cliff where there's tanks, this was pretty terrible. Already looking like I'm not going to be able to do too much damage. So I'm mainly just going to focus on taking down his tanks and sending the banelings straight for the mineral line. Yep, trying to snipe the tanks and realizing I'm losing a lot of units, I'm going to try to run away. So I really didn't do any damage with that attack. Now I'm not feeling... Oh, here comes a drop. Gonna immediately pull off all the drones and focus down that medevac so these units can't fly away. I think I missed the transfuse there. No, I had no energy.
So I'm back again to actually finish casting the second half of the game. If you're wondering why I sound different, it is because the first half I was casting using my laptop's microphone. I was actually just sitting in my car, and I actually received the shipment of my gear from our sponsor, Thermaltake. So I do have a new headset, keyboard, mouse, and everything's working pretty awesome. Anyways, back to the game. I did clean up that drop. Looking at the supplies, he's significantly ahead because I've gotten kind of accustomed to just doing that attack regardless of what the Terran has, and as you can see, he had a nice spread all the way out, so I did very little damage. I think I killed maybe 6 or 7 workers. I'm very sure that I'm behind at this point. He's actually on even bases with me. I'm taking a 4th one here, but nothing's mining there yet. And definitely a key factor in this game is the creep spread. You have to take note how far I'm pushing out the creep. This side not so much, just because I know this is actually the shortest path for him. Because a Terran will have to start spreading out or kill your creep when he gets to your base. If my creep wasn't spread, he could actually come right up here, siege up, and immediately start killing my expansion. So I can see that he's coming at this point. I've got my economy back up and running, but looking at the army tab, oh sorry, I forgot to turn off the vision. Looking at the army tab, he is significantly ahead. got like 50% more minerals in his army, and she's actually ahead by 20 supply, which is basically all army. So at this point, I know I'm not going to be able to attack this fortified position. As you can see, his units are spreading out, the tanks are getting all sieged up. If you can't hit the Terran before he sieges, you better have a much bigger army. If you don't think you do, then this is what you have to do. You leave your Mutalisks and your Banelings at home. All your Roaches and Speedlings counterattack. Now, why do you do this? The reason is because if he gets anxious with his Marines and starts rushing in, a low number of Banelings can actually do a lot of damage. So you can see I spread my base here, but even if I put it here, it would already be dead. And this counterattack is doing massive damage. I really want you to pay attention to that Harvester tab. I'm getting tons of free kills here. And because of my creep spread, he's still pushed out over here. If the tanks get out of position, I can pick them off with my Mutants. That's why they stayed home. But as you can see, Speedlings and Roaches in an empty base will do tons of damage. So he's trying to push forward, but he